Welcome to the deep dive. We've heard your request to really get into Starlink, and we've dug through all the sources you sent our way.
That's right.
Our mission today, to really understand what Starlink is, look closely at these recent service outages, and, weigh its pros and cons against the internet most of us know. All based on the material you provided. Ever look up at night, that amazing starry sky, and notice those trails of light? More and more of them.
Yeah, you see them sometimes.
Well, often that's Starlink. So today, as part of our Beyond Global Wave series, we're looking at it not just from, say, a U.S. view, but its impact everywhere.
Exactly. We want to give you the full picture, what it is, how it works, its recent stumbles, where it fits globally, and importantly, the role of Elon Musk.
Right.
We'll cover the potential problems and, what other options might be out there for you.
Okay, so let's start simple. What is Starlink? For anyone maybe not totally up to speed.
Sure. So basically, it's this huge constellation of satellites for internet. It's run by Starlink Services, which is completely owned by SpaceX.
SpaceX, right.
And its main goal is internet service for about 130 countries. They're really targeting places that are hard to reach, remote areas, ships, planes, places without good ground connections.
And the scale is just massive, isn't it?
Oh, it's incredible. As of, May 2025, over 7,600 Starlink satellites up there in low Earth orbit,
LEO, so pretty close to Earth.
Exactly. That's key for speed. And get this, that's like 65% of all active satellites.
65%. Wow.
Yeah. Think about it. One private company controlling almost 2/3 of active satellites. It's fundamentally changing space.
That's a staggering thought. And how does it work day to day for the user?
It's thousands of these small, mass-produced satellites whizzing around in LEO. They talk to stations on the ground, and then to the user's terminal, that dish thing people call Dishy McFlatface, or a UFO on a stick.
Right, I've seen pictures.
And the plan is even bigger, nearly 12,000 satellites planned, maybe even 34,400 down the road.
Good grief. And are people signing up?
Definitely. They went from 1 million users back in Q in 2022 to 5 million by Feb 2025. Should hit 6 million soon, maybe June 2025.
And it's global, you said.
Very much so. Canada got it first outside the U.S., then the Philippines and Asia, Nigeria and Africa. Sri Lanka just came online in July 2025. It's really reaching places that traditional internet struggles with.
Okay, but with something this huge, this complex, things can go wrong, right? We saw that recently, didn't we? July 24th, 25th.
Absolutely. That outage, it really highlighted how much Starlink is becoming critical infrastructure. It started July 24th, hit tens of thousands of users.
Everywhere.
Pretty much all continents. North America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, reports from West Virginia, Italy, Germany, Canada, you name it. And while SpaceX said it was fixed in about 2.5 hours for most...
It wasn't that simple for everyone.
No. People reported being offline much longer. An Italian user mentioned being out from late evening till 10 a.m. the next day. Someone in West Virginia is still offline after SpaceX said it was over. Extremely frustrating for them, I imagine.
I bet. Especially if you rely on it. What did SpaceX say caused it? A satellite falling out of the sky or something?
Nothing that dramatic. Their VP, Michael Nichols, and Musk himself said it was a failure of key internal software services.
Software. So not the satellites themselves.
Seems not. Most experts think it was likely a bad software update or some misconfiguration. There was some chatter about a cyber attack, but no proof. The fact they fixed it relatively quickly suggests they could probably just roll back whatever change caused the problem.
But it shows a weakness, right? Even with thousands of satellites.
Precisely. It shows that even these big LEO constellations can be knocked offline by a central software issue. A small bug, huge global impact. Reminds you of that OneWeb outage, the leap year bug thing.
Right, I remember that. A calendar bug took them out for 2 days.
Yeah. So centralized control software is still a potential Achilles heel.
Did this outage bring up any other sort of ongoing grumbles about Starlink?
Well, it certainly put the spotlight back on customer support, or the lack thereof, historically.
Yes. That's been a complaint, hasn't it?
For years. Brian Westover at PCMag was pretty critical. They just opened a phone line for U.S. and Canada customers recently, but for a long time, getting help was tough. And when your internet is critical and it goes down and you can't easily reach support, that's a bad combo.
Yeah, definitely not ideal. Okay, so we have the basics, the recent outage.
Yeah.
Let's get to the big comparison. How does Starlink actually perform against, say, the fiber connection I might have, or even older copper lines? What are the real pros and cons here?
Okay, this is key. Starlink isn't really meant to replace fast city internet. Its primary advantage is coverage.
Reaching the unreachable places.
Exactly. Rural, remote areas, boats, planes, places where laying fiber is just way too expensive. For emergencies, too, you can set up a terminal quickly if the main lines are down. It's a lifeline.
And what about the actual experience? Speed? Lag?
It's a huge step up from old satellite tech. Latency, the lag is way lower because the satellites are closer in LEO. We're talking 20, 40 milliseconds versus like 600 milliseconds for the old GEO satellites.
So video calls, gaming, actually usable.
Yeah, much more so. And speeds are decent, often 50 to 250 megabits per second down, maybe 10 to 50 up. In many rural spots, that's faster than the old DSL or slow cable they might have.
Okay, sounds promising for those specific situations.
Yeah.
But there have to be downsides, right? Trade-offs.
Oh, for sure. Reliability is one. Heavy rain, heavy snow rain fade, they call it, can interrupt the signal.
Like satellite TV used to do.
Pretty much. And you need a clear line of sight. Trees, buildings, those can block it. Users do report these little dropouts sometimes.
And what about too many people using it at once? Congestion.
That's another big one. The bandwidth in a given area, a cell, is shared. The Washington Post did an analysis suggesting that maybe only around 400 users in a decent-sized cell could slow things down to a crawl.
Only 400. That's not a lot if it gets popular in an area.
Right. Capacity is finite. And then there's cost. The dish itself is, what, $350 to $600, and the monthly fee is $120 for home users.
Which is more than many fiber plans.
Often, yes. Especially since fiber can give you gigabit speeds for maybe $60, $80. Plus, Starlink added a 1 terabyte data cap for regular users in 2023. Go over that and they can throttle your speed.
Data caps. The old enemy.
Indeed. And finally, it's still a relatively new tech. There are questions about long-term reliability, the company's finances long-term, regulations changing, and just the sheer difficulty of maintaining tens of thousands of satellites.
So if you put Starlink head-to-head with fiber and copper, what's the bottom line for someone deciding?
Yeah, let's be direct. Fiber optic, FTTH, that's the king. Where you can get it, it's unbeatable. Speeds from 100 megabits up to 10 gigabits plus.
Way faster.
Way faster. Ultra low latency, like 1 to 5 milliseconds.
Yep.
Super reliable, buried underground, safe from weather interference. It's future-proof.
Right.
Cable and DSL over copper, they vary. Cable can be fast in cities, maybe up to a gigabit. DSL in rural areas, much slower, maybe 1 to 50 megabits. Latency is okay, 10, 40 milliseconds. Reasonably reliable, but can get congested.
So Starlink fits where?
Starlink is complementary. It's a revolution for places with no good options. It's not really competing with fiber in cities. It's a lifeline for the underserved, not a replacement for top-tier wired internet.
That makes sense. Now, this leads us to something pretty unique about Starlink, the Musk factor. How does having Elon Musk in charge add another layer of, well, risk or complexity?
It's a huge factor and something users and governments are grappling with. Because SpaceX owns Starlink and Musk leads SpaceX, service decisions can potentially rest with one person.
And we've seen examples of this playing out.
Most notably in Ukraine. September 2022, near Kherson during that counteroffensive, reports surfaced that Musk told engineers to turn off Starlink coverage.
Turn it off, mid-battle.
That was the report. It apparently cut off communications for Ukrainian forces, hindered drone use, artillery. The suggestion was Musk feared it might provoke Russia, possibly even escalate to nuclear use. He denied parts of it, but the incident raised serious flags.
Wow. That's incredible power in one person's hands.
And it wasn't just that once. Later, Ukraine asked to use Starlink for a drone attack on Russian ships in Crimea. Musk refused, said he didn't want to be explicitly complicit in a major act of war.
So he's making active decisions about its military use.
Seemingly so. There were even reports, via Reuters, about U.S. officials allegedly using Starlink access as leverage against Ukraine over mineral rights. The Musk denied that too. And beyond Ukraine, there are other whispers, alleged talks with Putin about not activating Starlink over Taiwan, apparently to keep China happy.
Geopolitics via satellite control.
You see UK customers reportedly dropping the service over Musk's political machinations. And even here, the government installing a Starlink dish at the White House complex even claimed as a donation raised conflict of interest questions.
So this unilateral control, it creates security worries.
Definitely. Many U.S. government agencies use Starlink now, but critics point out there's not much transparency about how it operates, potential speed throttling. And Musk's goal of funding Mars colonization means the network's tied to his personal ambitions, which might not always align perfectly with, say, government needs.
Right.
There's also this risk experts call misconfigured procurement. Governments may be buying into a service without fully understanding its limitations or who truly controls the switch.
And beyond government use, are there issues with less official uses?
Unfortunately, yes. It's popped up with criminal groups in the Amazon, scam operations in Southeast Asia, militants in India. They use it to get around internet shutdowns.
So bypassing government controls.
Exactly. And in Iran, it was activated with U.S. approval during protests to circumvent censorship. But the Iranian government complained, and now there's a black market, maybe 100,000 users on 30,000 smuggled terminals.
Real double-edged sword, then.
Absolutely. And you had Houthi rebels in Yemen demanding people hand over their Starlink dishes. It highlights the lack of clear international rules for these massive constellations. Who's liable if something goes wrong? Astronomers are also worried about light pollution, radio interference, collision risks. There's a lot of push for stricter regulations.
It sounds like a lot of potential problems.
Yeah.
But we should also acknowledge the good it does.
Oh, absolutely. We can't ignore the innovation here. Starlink has brought broadband to communities that had nothing. It's been vital in natural disasters when other comms fail. The U.S. Navy uses it for keeping sailors connected to home. Morale is important even if they don't send classified data over it.
That rapid deployment, the private sector moving fast, governments often can't match that.
Exactly. It's a genuine feat of engineering and logistics.
So, looking forward, what's next for reliability? Can these issues be fixed? And what should our listener take away from all this?
Well, SpaceX isn't stopping. They plan to keep launching, aiming for 12,000 satellites, maybe 42,000 eventually. The newer V2 satellites are supposed to have much more capacity, maybe 80, 100 GBPs each, plus laser links between satellites.
Laser links, what does that do?
It means satellites can talk directly to each other, reducing the need to always relay through a ground station. Should make the network more resilient, less dependent on specific ground locations.
But the software issue from July.
That was a wake-up call. They'll need to make their internal systems tougher, do more rigorous testing, maybe design things so one failure can't bring down the whole network. It's, build in more firewalls, essentially.
Makes sense. Any other hurdles ahead?
Spectrum is one. There's only so much radio frequency to go around. Current limits mean maybe only one Starlink user per square mile in some rural U.S. areas. They'll need more spectrum or better ways to reuse it to add lots more customers.
And governments watching more closely.
I think that's inevitable. As it becomes more critical, governments will likely demand guarantees, service-level agreements, more transparency, rules about shutdowns. It's moving from just cool tech to vital infrastructure, and that comes with oversight.
So, given all that, what's your advice for someone thinking about getting Starlink or already using it?
Okay, first big one. If it's critical, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify. Have a backup fiber if you can get it, maybe cellular, microwave, something else. The outage and the Ukraine situation show the risk of relying on just one provider, especially one with a single point of control.
Digital resilience. Makes sense. What else?
For bigger users, governments, businesses negotiate your contracts carefully. Try to get clauses that prevent sudden shutdowns, spell out what happens in emergencies or conflict.
Put it in writing.
Exactly. Also, keep an eye on congestion. Remember, capacity isn't infinite. Fiber is still better if it's available. Think of Starlink mainly for places where fiber isn't an option.
Use it where it makes the most sense.
Right. And basic cybersecurity hygiene, use encryption, use VPNs for anything sensitive. There have been reports of malware aimed at the terminal.
Good reminder.
And finally, stay informed and advocate for sensible rules. As this technology becomes more embedded, we need transparency, clear service standards, data protection, contingency plans. It benefits everyone to have clear rules of the road.
So today, we've really traced Starlink's path, this incredible expansion, the recent bumps in the road, and these really complex geopolitical issues tied to its ownership. Quite a journey.
It is, and Starlink is genuinely a technological marvel. It's connecting the unconnected, but it's definitely not a magic solution for everything. That dependence on one owner, the environmental questions. It means we need to be really thoughtful about how we use it and how it's governed.
Which leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? What does it really mean for global stability when these vital communication links are in private hands, potentially just a few hands? How do we make sure they're reliable, accountable? Something to think about. We really encourage you to consider these complexities and how important digital independence might be in a world that seems increasingly reliant on a few very powerful tech players.